in my heart, and I can say that because she's mine. God gave her to me, and I think that she's my little mini me in some ways, and I hope that Ansleigh Grace is proud of that. But before we get started, I just want to share with you something that I read today in Revelation 8. It was our reading for today that we're going through as a church, and we're going through Revelation, which is very powerful and letting us know even more of the power of Jesus and the goodness that he has for us in the good days to come. But one verse that just really spoke out to me was verse 4, and it says, "The smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints went up in the presence of God from the angel's hand." And it just gives me encouragement to know that my prayers, that your prayers go to heaven, and that they are brought forth in the presence of our Heavenly Father, who cares so much about us. And he knows our hearts. He knows our heart's desire. He knows what breaks our hearts. And today, Ansleigh and I are going to be talking about some of the things that breaks our heart, and different ways that we're trying to make a difference in this world. And I'm just so grateful that I get to be a part of Ansleigh Grace Williams and her life and all of the goodness that God has going on in her life today. So Ansleigh, would you please share with my friends who you are, my dear?
Yes, I am obviously Miss Candy's daughter and very proud of it. And I am 21. I turned 21 in May, at the end of May. And it's been, I feel like that was forever ago, a long time ago, but it was just about 2 months ago. But I am also recently Miss Troup County, and this is a preliminary title that I have won, and I was supposed to take it to Miss Georgia this past June and then this past July, but now they've just postponed it to next June of 2021. So I get to be Miss Troup County for another year, and I became Miss Troup in January and have loved this journey so much, and it has definitely, become a part of who I am. And I love LaGrange and the troop and my people up there, but I also love my people in Athens. I have a dance studio here. This is my office. It's Point of Grace Dance, and it's actually located in the church, but we're off to the side, and I have a thriving little business here with lots of little girls always running around, and I have Amory and Abigail at the house, and I've loved Amory recently getting his license and getting to ride with him, and, getting my ears blown out from his bass that he likes to blare. And little Abby, we have fallen in love with smoothies this summer, so we're making smoothie runs all the time. And she's a ballerina, very beautiful ballerina. And I love all things Disney and always have lemonade or Chick-fil-A tea in my hands. And this summer, since March, since COVID, I've learned to fall in love with tanning. So as soon as it was a little warm, we were outside at the pool. But
I would say that that's a good reason why you're a mini-me, because I've always liked to tan and lay out in the sun and go to the beach and go to the pool. So that's a really good thing. And yes, Ansleigh gets upset with me when we don't have Publix lemonade in the fridge. But
that's public.
Yes, but she shared a little bit about where she is, and she's in her studio that she has just right off the corner of our building at Southside Church, Point of Grace Dance. And I say that Ansleigh really is she has found her sweet spot. Ansleigh loves to hang out with a younger generation, young people, and she loves to dance. And so she has definitely found her sweet spot in being able to have her own ballet studio where she can pour into young ladies and also teach them dance, but also give them encouragement with the Lord and his love as well. So recently, I feel like I've been traveling all over the state of Georgia, which has been fun. But Ansleigh, please tell us why you wanted to enter the pageant world.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. But I would say my interest was peaked a long time ago when I started watching Miss America with Nana. That's been a me and Nana venture for forever. We would sit down and go ahead. Every time there would be a new round of the competition, we would pick our top 5 and pick our top that would come out of that group. And we would always pick the winner. Every year, we've always chosen the winner. And we've done that for years. But when I decided that I really wanted to go into it, it was because of Emily Howell was a big, just underlying influence to me. She didn't really have to preach to me about Miss Georgia. I just knew that that was a big part of who she is. And she has a thriving business in Jefferson, Howell Orthodontics. And she will put a lot of credit to Miss Georgia, to her confidence in her speaking and just the way she carries herself. And she grew her influence in Jefferson and in Georgia throughout the time when she was Miss Georgia. And she just spoke so highly of being able to have an in to every door throughout the state. And she was able to carry her title and carry a platform that she was passionate about to so many people. And she spoke in churches and in places with non-believers, but was able to be a light of Jesus there. And that was so appealing to me. And I definitely just wanted to be like her in a lot of ways, but I also wanted that for myself. I wanted a place that I could go and share my heart, not only to the believers, but also to those who don't know Jesus, and have an in to those places, like every elementary school in the state of Georgia. You can go and you just walk in because you are Miss Georgia. And in that moment, you don't, and one of my trainers has encouraged me with this. He said, you don't want to walk into a room and have to shout that you love Jesus. It should just radiate off of you. And he was like, and it's encouraging, because he said that does with me. And that is a spur in me to keep going and to keep going the way that I am, because I want to be able to walk into elementary school and be able to just have kids see something different about me. And I am looking forward to the possibility of meeting Miss Georgia and having those outlets to just walk into.
That's awesome. And I feel like that the Lord really gives us favor when He knows that if He gives us a platform to stand on and a place to be an influencer, that He will rise us up to that occasion if He knows that we're truly there to honor Him and make His name famous. And I feel like that's a deep desire in your heart, and one of the biggest reasons why you would want to be in this pageant world. Well, tell us a little bit about your journey to Miss Troup County, because it wasn't easy.
It was not. We started this time last year, and it was honestly July of 2019 when I started picking out a dress and learning how to do my hair and makeup. And boy, have we come a long way. I'm just saying. I feel makeup has gotten a lot better over the years. I'm very proud of that. But I did about 9 preliminaries and got runner-up at 7 out of 9 of those. And all of those were at least an hour away. Some were 4 hours away, and it took weekends, not just a day, but it took Friday through Sunday. So it took hotel room, it took meals and gas and finding replacements to teach here at the studio for Saturdays and keeping a business going while trying to train and win. Took mom away from dad for a lot of Sundays and weekends. Nana was a big part. It was a big family venture, but it was discouraging to be runner-up every time. But I had to keep reminding myself the people who won before me had been to Miss Georgia before. And so, because it was my first year into the game, it's hard just to, I think about all the training I have had as Miss Troup County, and I didn't have that before I became Miss Troup. And I feel like a lot of the ways I carry myself in an interview or any of the categories of the competition, I've really improved. And I definitely didn't have any of those. I didn't have any of that when I was going into the preliminaries. And I guess all the other girls did because they went to Miss Georgia before. But now I'm in, and I would say it was hard, but it was so worth it because I wouldn't have wanted to win another pageant. I love Troop, and I love my directors who I have in LaGrange, and that is Miss Judy and Mr. Jim Neighbors, and everyone in the pageant world knows them. So they are amazing, and they've just really adopted me into their family. I'm their last pageant girl, so that's big, and I am Jim's little bit. He calls me little bit, and I don't know. I truly believe that the hard times, the hard path to get to Troop and to win Troop was just the Lord persistently teaching me that to just trust in his timing. And I'm very thankful that I persevered and I had faith through that. I did give up. I mean, I was done. I was not going to do anymore. And I had about 8 phone calls from 8 different people, including the director of Miss Georgia, asking me to come do Troop. And I finally did it. And we didn't even go to rehearsals for that. Like the one that I won, I wasn't there for the whole weekend. We drove and I walked in 30 minutes before the thing started. And the judges had a special interview for me. And I walked right in, did the interview, then walked on stage and competed. That's not normal. So it was really big and it was all God. And I definitely had a different aroma about myself at Troop. I was more confident and I was there for me. And I had the attitude of, this is it. Like, if I'm going to be me.
So, yeah, sometimes we just have to be us. And being in situations like you are in a pageant or on stage anywhere, it's not that you're fake. It's just that you're trying so hard to impress people and you feel a little intimidated. And I think for you to be able to go to Troop County and have that one last shot, it just felt good because you had been invited to be there, and that was great. And I do believe that it was all in God's timing because the neighbors are incredibly special people, and for you to be able to be a part of Mr. Jim and Miss Judy's life for just a little season is an incredible opportunity and a blessing for you. But being able, just having to sit back and have that feeling of defeat a lot, it's hard to take that blow and being runner up and not being able to walk away with a win, but that perseverance produces character. And you were in an arena that you'd never been before, and I think about Amory, just for instance, being in sports and how, when you play baseball or football or soccer or softball or any sport, you have a period of time where you're actually training for that event, and then you start your season, and then there's the championship tournament. Not with us. We had not had any training. And so I felt like those first few pageants that you were in was really a training ground for all of us, and to know that it was just all in God's special timing. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for not giving up and for not quitting. Because I think for mom and dad, we had maybe given up. We were kind of tired, but I'm glad that you did it, and I'm glad that you persevered. And I do feel like it built character within you, and it also gave you a reason for why you wanted to be there. But Troop County is a very special place, and I've been excited to go there on the different occasions that we've been able to be. The people in LaGrange are so sweet and so special. But what are some of your responsibilities as Miss Troop County?
So one that is actually pretty easy for me, and I was taught right off the bat by one of my trainers, and it's just the lifestyle of remembering to live in a fishbowl. And they told me it was when I was learning how to fix my hair and makeup, and I was like, so is this just for appearances, like where I'm going to speak or something? And she was like, no, this is like you need to look good every day. Like if somebody sees you out in public, you don't need to look different than your Instagram. Like you need to have it together. And but that was just also, if you're a businesswoman and if you're conquering the world, put some clothes on. Don't go out every day in shorts and a t-shirt, and put some effort into it. You feel a little bit more confident in yourself anyways. But also the pageant world it's weird in this aspect of your to-do list, because you get out of it what you put in, and they tell you that off the bat. They're like, you don't have some person giving you a schedule. you are in charge of your schedule. And if you're going to just sit and work and go to school and not put the time in for your title, that's fine. But you have a title for 1 year. What are you going to do with it? And so it's not necessarily responsibilities I've been given, but just how can I make the most of my time, and how can I make this time special? And I'm really pouring into my platform, and I'm learning how to be creative with that during COVID and being in quarantine. And we can go into detail with that, but then also I'm really working on my talent and perfecting that now that we have a year. So we're working on getting that to the best it can be. And then also, you're learning how to talk and walk. So the two things that you learn when you're a baby, but we're learning all over again. And I actually am enjoying this because it's little things like posture and walk smaller steps, and it makes you look, like you can conquer a little bit faster, and learning how to talk professionally and getting your point across in a polite way, and learning how to be moderate yet having your own opinions. So I don't want to come across so strongly and exactly what side of the table that we are on politically, and that just can put an automatic negative vibe about you to some people. So I'm learning how to just be appealing and to learn how to not come across negatively and to make friends the right way in the business world.
I think that's great. And that's something that whole fishbowl mentality is something that you very much grew up in, being a pastor's child. And we've always told all of you that you may not have been called to be in ministry, but you're in the fishbowl because mom and dad are. And if we're going to give them something to look, if they're going to be looking at us, then give them something good to look at, right? And I love that about what your trainer has told you and encouraged you to do, to get up and get dressed every day. And I can just remember that as a great truth that I was taught as a stay-at-home mom, because, I could have stayed in my PJs all day long and not put on makeup and just wore my workout clothes to the store or town or to the library, wherever it was I was taking you all around when you were little, and I was staying at home. But I was encouraged and challenged to get up every day and work out and put on your clothes and put on your makeup and fix your hair. It just makes you feel more confident about who you are. And I think that that's a great word for all of us, that we do need to learn to walk and talk. And we need to learn to walk and talk in a manner that makes the name of Jesus famous, not just because we're on a pageant platform stage, but because Jesus has us on display every day. So that's a great word. Well, tell me some of your favorite moments already of being Miss Troup County.
Some of my favorites would be, one of the very first things I got to do was be a princess at a daddy-daughter Chick-fil-A banquet night in Troup. So one Chick-fil-A, perfect, and it was a dance, and I got to be a princess for the night to lots of little girls, and that was a dream. That was so much fun. I was in a parade, and I got to ride on the back of a convertible old car, and it was beautiful, so much fun. And we were the celebrities of LaGrange for the night. My forum weekend with my Miss Georgia girls was amazing. We spent a weekend together preparing for Miss Georgia that didn't get to do, but it was still a wonderful experience to make new friends. And I have recently had a photo shoot to be in the magazine for LaGrange. So that was a lot of fun, and the magazine is out. I'm going to get it this weekend, but those are just a few of the things that have been my favorite.
That's a lot of fun stuff. And being crowned, and I see your crown. You need to show it to everyone. Can you show it? Can you show off your crown there? Being able to have that crown has a lot of fun things that come with it. But in being a contestant for Miss Georgia, I know that each of the contestants have to have a platform that they want to bring awareness to. Could you tell us about your platform, what you chose, and why you chose it?
So the title of my platform is Shine a Light, and I love that because I can tell you, shine a light, and you're going to have no idea what I am targeting that towards. But shine a light in to a kid, I can tell them to be more confident about themselves and to carry themselves in a just confident manner, and for them to build their self-esteem and teach them ways to build their self-esteem, and then teach them the importance of having a high self-esteem, which leads into the main part of my platform, and that is shining a light on those who are stuck in human trafficking. And I have really become passionate about this dark world. And my father made me watch Taken when I was way too little to watch that movie, I feel like. An appropriate age, I guess. But that was when my eyes were just instantly opened to there is a scary part of the world that I was so oblivious to. And then I got involved in Passion City Church and went to more and more of their conferences. And Christine Kane is one of their key speakers all the time. And she is the founder of the A21 organization and the End It movement. The End It movement, where everybody draws a red X on their hands in February of every year. And over the past 2 years, I've just been more and more, I guess intrigued is the right word, about this world and how quiet people are about it. If you actually look up the statistics for Georgia and human trafficking, you're not going to find anything past 2013. There's nothing out there. And on the internet, you've got to dig and dig deep to find local statistics because no one talks about it. And the scary part is when you look and you see the stats of maybe 200 to 300 girls being victimized every month, it's now like not even tripled. It's about 1,000 to 5,000 girls being victimized every month. But you're not going to find that. You have to have heard that from somebody speak. I've heard that from Christine Kane. I've seen that in her blogs. You've got to dig so deep to find actual truth because it's just not out there. But there's just so many scary things, and it's actually become a lot of people are shining a light on it right now during COVID because, well, one, I think we're just trying to find the negative in everything right now, but this is something that people are really pulling out of the dark, and I'm very proud that this is coming to light. That is one good thing that is happening right now that I'm enjoying watching, and it has become more evident because it's been targeted to children more than teenagers or young adults because children are at home. Think about how many kids were at home starting from March until now, and they were encouraged to be on their computers and on their social medias every day. Then their parents left them at home and schoolwork ended. School probably took your child 2 to 3 hours to do. So then they had all day to do nothing. But now you've also taught an 8-year-old how to work a cell phone and how to work a computer. And a vulnerable 8-year-old girl who doesn't have a high self-esteem, it's very easy for a boy to post a fake photo of himself as an 8-year-old boy on a social media picture and DM her on her accounts, email her. People have found ways to get into their email accounts, their school email accounts, and they'll say, "You're beautiful. Like, did you know that? Have you heard that from your mom or your dad?" Well, their mom and dad aren't around. Their mom and dad left hours ago, and they're sitting at home wanting attention. And these stats for human trafficking have skyrocketed since March, but not in the age group that it used to be. It's now in your children, and children who have great families, children who have wonderful parents and wonderful lives, because they're just at home by themselves and they are looking for attention. And it's scary because those numbers aren't being tracked. And so there's no way to really report that. Most parents don't even know that it's happening. But a targeter, he will manipulate the child to send a photo in of themselves that's inappropriate, and then that child is so ashamed of it, and that targeter tells the kid, "Well, I'll send this photo to your mom. I have also found their email and their social media account," because that's how easy it is to find everything nowadays. And then that child is scared to go and talk to its parents and say, "I messed up. because I was just bored and I didn't know what I was doing until now. And so they'll get so sucked into this dark lifestyle and it'll be too late. And then they will have given their location out, and before long that child is gone and their parents have no idea what happened. And that's what is so sickening about this world. And right now, when we're questioning whether or not kids should go back to school, this isn't even on the table of discussion for reasons why or why not. And that is a lot of the reasoning why this dark world has come to light, because the leaders and the advocates for human trafficking are getting loud about it. And they are trying to say, listen, this is another reason you need to be working through and thinking of when you're looking at the reasons why or why not to send the kids back to school.
And I think so many of us who live in rural America, like Jackson County, Banks County, Madison County, we don't realize that there is such a dark world out there where children, young boys, young girls, young teenagers are being lured into this world where they are being silenced. They are being enslaved. And in a day when it's 2020 and you would think there is no slavery in this world, trust me, my friends, the slavery is real. And it's hard for a contestant that's going to Miss Georgia to have a platform like this, because we're not able to put it in a box and wrap it up very pretty and put this nice bow on it and make it look good. It's a dirty, messy world that we live in. And it's a broken world just because of sin that we live in. And so we have got to get the message of Jesus out, that he is a message of hope. But also we have got to get this message out that there are young people being trapped in a silent world where their voice cannot be heard. And so we have been called to be the voice for them. I share Ansleigh's passion in this, and we have got to shine a light on this dark world so that moms and dads will know how our children are being targeted and how we can keep them safe, but also how we can be a voice for those who are being trapped and they're being held in silence against their will, so that we can help bring awareness to our government, to our police officers, to educate the people who are living in the world, so that we can notice the signs and we can so when we see something, we know how and where to say something. So it's not a very easy platform to have as a Miss Georgia contestant, and I'm very proud of you for doing that. And I know that you have plans in educating parents and school and children in schools, and you're very young, and so share with us the different ways that you plan to make a difference by shining a light on this dark world.
We'll start with the children, and obviously you can't walk into the schools and preach sex trafficking is real and this is what it is, but you can start with the self-esteem, because if that child is at home and their self-esteem is so strong, they don't have vulnerable pictures on their social media to make themselves look appealing to somebody, and they carry themselves in a manner to where they don't need somebody to be boosting their self-esteem. They already have it through themselves. And so we're being creative. We're trying to find ways to write a children's book, actually, because every school I go to, they're like, what book are you reading? And we're hoping to be creative in that way. So that will be my easy way to go in and just boost self-esteem in children and help them see that it's important. Middle and high school, you can start bringing in some terminology and some truth into what that world is. But I'm going to push it towards really just how to be careful for yourself to not be taken into that world. And it does start with your social media. Social media today is the number one way that a kid is taken. And two, it is how they are around their family, and they need to have the conversation with their parents about being a safe place and to be able to come and talk to them about hard conversations. Then with the parents, that is something the parents need to realize that needs to happen. They need to sit down and tell their kids, even if their kids, if your home is great, this is something you need to tell your kids, that this is a safe place. Please come tell us if something happens, because because if they feel like they're uncomfortable to talk to you about a mistake they've made or a conversation that probably shouldn't have happened, it can lead to a very dark pit, and they will be gone. So the parents need to make sure that their house is a safe place. And then for those who don't have kids, to figure out ways to help spread the word. And that is kind of my plan for all ages. And when I stand on the Miss America stage, I will shine a light for those who are in sex trafficking and shine a light for those to have an incredible confidence about themselves so that they can stand and feel beautiful, and for the boys to feel just strong. And I will be able to also take my adult bar classes that I have at my studio, and I've already been in connection with some of the safe houses with girls who've been rescued, and I'll be able to go and take these classes for a fun evening of a workout and help physically build their self-esteem, make them feel more strong and more beautiful, and then just hang out with them and be a friend to them. And that will be my outlet who are rescued. And I don't know, we are very excited. We have great leadership right now. We have our governor, Kemp, his wife, has started her own rescue house. And that is a place I'm trying to work with. And Trump's daughter, President Trump, his daughter, is also very passionate about this issue. So we have people in high places who are working, and they're both females, and that is very encouraging to me and to all of our well friends out there, because I love the verse 2 Timothy 4:12, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but that also targets towards not your age, but who you are and who God made you to be. And God made me a female, and I'm not going to let that dictate what I can and cannot say, because I don't believe that the Lord puts covers over our mouths where we can't say certain things. And I'm very encouraged that the two people who are leading the way in the United States right now are females, and that's encouraging to us all, that we can do anything.
That's great. I think that we have to remember that God did give us a voice. He gives us a passion inside of us, and He allows certain doors to open for us so that we can fulfill the purpose that He has called us to. And I feel like He's called us to shine a light on this very dark world. And just to recap, so that our parents and our moms listening understand just how important it is for us to be active in our kids' lives. And when we give them those cell phones and we give them those computers, we still have a responsibility of knowing what it is that they're on when they're on these devices, and to protect them from these predators. And one way that we can protect them is to be sure that they are revealing themselves in a way that would not attract a predator. I think that is so important. And being able to be a voice and an encouragement in their life, and to build confidence in them. We should be their greatest encouragers and confidence builders. Moms and dads should be. And all of us can become involved in these rescue homes. These rescue homes are for those who were rescued out of this dark world of being slaved in sex trafficking, and they've been taken to a safe place, and they're being loved on, they're being nurtured, they're nursing them back to health, and giving them life again. And so that's what Ansleigh's talking about. She's been able to do is to be able to go into these homes and build confidence there. And we can be a part of that as well. And so Ansleigh can maybe share her email address and how we can join her in her efforts, because it's going to take all of us to make a difference in this. Well, go ahead and tell us, what else do you find yourself doing other than preparing for Miss Georgia as Miss Troup County? Because you're a very busy young lady. This is just one little slice of your pie. Tell us what else you're doing these days.
I do own a business, and that is a full-time job. We started in January with almost 90 ballerinas, and we put on 2 professional productions a year. We do the Nativity and the Nutcracker at Christmas, and I've wrapped it up in a beautiful production. I'm very proud of it. And we do that at Christmas, and we also do a fairy tale in the spring. So we've done Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. We were supposed to do Wizard of Oz this past year, and anyways, throughout COVID, we have had a slow restart, and we have about 60 students this year, and I'm very proud that we are still standing and surviving, because I know lots of studios who, one, still haven't opened their doors, and two, have also just had to shut down. And I'm very proud to say that we're still here and thriving, and the Lord's presence is so evident in this little place. And I love my influence with my ballerinas. So that's a big portion. I've also recently started helping run the youth ministry here at the church, and it's just a sweet spot for me. And I love the founder of Fabric. Her name is Dana Spinola. She wrote a book called Love What You Do, and she really preaches to find where your passion is and where your purpose is, to find what both of those are, and then find a perfect middle to live in. And I would say I have done that. I have found my passion in ballet and leading others, and that is definitely my job and what I love to do. But then I know a purpose of mine is to pour into the next generation, and I'm doing that in ballet, but then I also get to do it in ministry and to serve here at the church, and that's been so much fun. We're in almost a month, and it's been very busy and keeping us all on our toes. And I am becoming Miss Georgia, hopefully. So that's also a big piece.
That's awesome. So if someone wants to reach out to you and ask you questions about dance or the studio, or if they would like to get involved with you in making a difference in this human trafficking world, how can they contact you?
The best way is through email, and I'm just going to give you my business email so that if you want to get in through dance, this is where it is. But it's POGD, so stands for Point of Grace Dance, _studio@gmail.com. So POGD.studio@gmail.com is our email. And then my Instagram page for Troop, which I would encourage you to follow, because I am posting so many stats for human trafficking and just weekly encouragement for how to make a difference and how to shine a light. That's Miss Troop County 20, and Troop is just TROUP, Troop County. So
well, that is incredible. Well, I know that you are a young lady that loves the Lord, and I just read a quote today that just said, "Be who you are on the inside." And we talked a little bit about that when we talked about going to Miss Troop County, and you just felt free to be me. I think that that's a great slogan. Just be free. Feel free to be me. Be who you are, because we're our best self when we're just ourselves. But I love you. I love your passion that you have for the Lord and where you're serving in so many different areas, trying to make a difference for Him. But I know you're in the Word all the time. And so I'm sure God's been trying to reveal something to you. And do you have a nugget that God's revealing to you that you could challenge us with today?
Yes, well, first off, through Revelation, I have just, my worship experience and my prayer life has just grown immensely. And I feel like if you are in Revelation as well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just realizing how holy and magnificent our God is, and then putting that in perspective when you worship and when you pray, it really encourages you that the Lord truly is over all. And it's just like overwhelming to think how big He is and how He knows exactly who we are. So if you're in Revelation, that's encouraging for you, but also a verse that I have everywhere in relation to Miss Troop, and my platform there would be Hebrews 12, 1-2. And it says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, who is the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. There's so many great truths in that, but one that I love is just running with endurance. And I'm so passionate about having a kingdom mindset. And if you are truly running towards the Lord, that just trickles down into every little part about who you are. Not just you on Sunday mornings, not just you when you're serving at church, but you in your friend groups, you with your family, you at your business, not your job. Just wherever you are, if you're running with endurance, the race that the Lord has put in front of you, then there's nothing that's going to be able to stop you. And that, to me, is such a wonderful truth that I like to cling to and hold on to, especially in this time of day when you don't feel like running with endurance. You might feel like there's no point. But today, more than any day, we need to run endurance for the Lord.
I think that that's incredible, and that is almost like a thread that's being woven into your tapestry, is to not quit, to have that perseverance. And remember that that perseverance builds character. But I think about that race and how God has a race for each one of us to run, and no one can take your place. No one can take Ansleigh's place. No one can take my place. No one can take your place. So we are, and God is counting on you to not quit and to keep running your race. So it's great for you all to join us today. Thank you for being with us. Run your race.